What's going on, my G's? Ben Macaulay here, and today we're going to finish the mix breakdown. I've not been able to finish this up because I am currently working on 2 EPs. I'm mixing and mastering in stereo and Dolby Atmos, and I have to go to the gym. I have to live life. Do you understand? But today we're going to try to finish this up, and then let's see what we can learn, and let's see how we can continue to be dope mixing and mastering engineers. So in my last video, I stopped at the dynamics part of my vocal chain. Today, we're going to go into reverb and delays, basically, and maybe talk about any other things that I did within the mix to create this picture of delicious music that you're about to listen to. Just a snippet, because this song is not out yet. This is how I use reverb in my mix. I use 2 reverbs. First of all, I start with a room reverb or a short reverb. So I have my first bus going to my room reverb, and I'm using a Fab Filter Pro R reverb. Technically, room reverb just means a short reverb. The idea behind that is you want to just put a little bit of reverb with a very short decay time to lift the vocal just a little bit in the mix. Do you understand? Just tiny, nothing crazy. I think that's up to like what, minus 14 dBs there, right? Just tiny room reverb. Let me mute the other guys so you hear. Before, it's very dry, like it's very like but when you just throw in that room reverb, it just elevates the vocal just a little bit first, just to push it above in the mix. Right, so it creates a very tiny cushion between the beats and the vocals. So the next thing I'm adding is my second reverb, which will be the main reverb I'm using for the vocals. Let's look at that real quick. For my lead, I'm using the H reverb, and if you notice, the reverb time is 4.29 seconds. Again, if you do the calculation, this beat is 112 BPM, right? So if you divide 60,000 by 112, that's going to give you about 535.7, which is 536 milliseconds. But remember, the reverb time is set in seconds, and we have to convert that into seconds. And to do that is simple. You just divide by 1,000, and now we have the value in seconds, which is 0.535, which is approximately 0.536. But obviously 0.536 is like a very short reverb time, right? So now what you're going to do is times that by 2 till you get a long enough reverb time that works for your record, right? So that means I'm going to go times 2, 1.0714, times 2 again, 2.142, or that 2.143 rather, times 2 again, and we have 4.285. Obviously, if you're in math class, they tell us that anything that is 5 and above, you round up to 1, right? So that's how you get 4.29. You round up the 5 to 1, add it to 8, 4.29, and now you have the correct reverb time for this record. Remember, pre-delay is set in milliseconds, right? So you divide and then you get your value in milliseconds, which is 536. But obviously 536 is a very long pre-delay. You don't want a very long pre-delay. So you divide that by 2 again, and then further divide by 2 again, and divide by 2 again, and divide by 2 again till you get a decent pre-delay time. Personally, I don't want a very long pre-delay time, and I think for this reverb, the 3.5 milliseconds is a great pre-delay time. So that's the correct maths. That's how you find your reverb time and your pre-delay time. All right, very, very easy. So now let's listen to how the reverb sounds with the vocal. Before, after, and remember, all of these adjustments that you're going to make, you have to make them while the music is playing, because that's how you're going to be able to know if you're putting the correct reverb for the record. That's very smooth. Now, there's also something I do with my reverb bus that I think it's very important that you do. I have an EQ after the reverb to shape the frequencies of the reverb. I'm cutting off some of the low, some of the high, and some of the mid to remove a bit of rumble. So we have a very clean... Let me show you the before and after. So this is the reverb, just the reverb. No solo, just the reverb, right? Before, it sounds a bit muddy, but after, it's cleaner, it's very precise. It's not going to overpower the vocal in any way. They're just going to be like besties. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's that for my lead reverb. So the next thing I'm adding after my reverb is obviously my delay. For my lead delay, what am I using? I'm using this very nice. See, I love this delay from Baby Audio. It's called Comeback Kit. There's so many nice features. But what I'm doing here basically is I've set the delay time to 1/4. Straight feedback is 20, but I automate my delay time and feedback in the mix as well, you know, just to create the actual picture I want to create. And then I have this Docker feature. I mean, this is basically side chaining the vocal to the delay. So when the vocal plays, the level of delay drop. When the vocal stops, the delay comes after, right? It's very nice. It's just, instead of using a separate compressor to do that side chaining effect, you can just do it from the delay plugin, which is very dope. That's that for my lead vocal chain, basically, you know, and everything comes together nicely. I remember I said I had some automation for the delay, so let's check that out. Right, so if you notice down here on my lead bus, I've automated the amount of delay to vary as the song plays. There's some parts where I want to exaggerate the delay, I increase the delay. The parts I don't want it at all, I take it out. Like in the first part of the verse, I'm always using the delay to exaggerate the last phrases, right? Like something like this. My trips can blow your mind, though. Right, it goes up. Again, my baby, get to your mind, though. Right. It's very important to do stuff like this so you can actually take people on a journey with your mix. Even some parts, I'm also automating the feedback of the delay. Like on this very first part, I've increased the amount of delay and also increased the feedback so you can get that. And also set the delay to ping pong. That's why you're hearing it come from the left and the right. Do you get what I'm saying? So these are the tiny things that you do that will make your mix sound very dope. I'm not going to go into details on my other buses, but as you can see, I'm also automating the delays and the feedback time for the backup as well as I think the ad lib. For my hook bus, I'm using a different reverb as well. I'm using a much bigger reverb preset, but the delay time is still set to the correct reverb time. Let me play that so you can hear what it actually sounds like. So I want the hook to be big, right? Never run. If you see mommy, what out? If you see mommy, what out? And I'm using an EQ after the reverb to also shape the tone of the reverb as well. So that's it. That's literally all I'm doing with this mix. I'm going to come back with another video to show you my mastering process. Hopefully you can learn 1 or 2 things from that as well. But so far, this has been a very decent mix breakdown, if you ask me. And if you have any questions about any of these things I've talked about here, make sure to leave your comments in the comment section below. And I checked, 96% of people watching my videos are not subscribed. You guys are getting gems and just not subscribing. You have to subscribe. That's how this works. I give you gems, you subscribe. All right. So subscribe, man, if you see this video, man. Let's build a community. Let's all learn. Let's all be dope. All right. This is one of the songs coming out soon in my EP that's dropping very soon. This will be my first EP since 2016, bro. So it's about to be crazy. And I'm mixing everything, obviously, in Dolby Atmos as well. And I'm going to be going crazy. Actually, I'm going crazy. I've already started going crazy. I've already done some of them and it's mad. So watch this space. I'm going to be doing more mix breakdown from time to time to show you all of the things that I'm doing to achieve the quality of music that I'm achieving. Because whenever I work on a new song, I'm obviously going to do something a little bit different. So yeah, there's always going to be something to learn. And then from time to time, maybe I'll go in depth, fully explain plugins that I'm using so you can get like a proper understanding of how those plugins work. All right. This is going to be it for now. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. Make sure you subscribe again. Make sure you like, follow me on all social media platforms. See, listen, I've not even started dishing out gems. All right. So that's going to be for now, man. Benny Macaulay.